You're just a boring carpenter, Jason. I need a real man. Isabel said, laughing in front of everyone in the bar. I smiled and calmly replied. The bar pulsed with laughter and clinking glasses as Jason Evans raised his beer to toast his biggest win yet. At 38, he just signed a $5 million contract to renovate a Miami Beach mansion for an NBA star. His construction company, Evans Elite Builds, was the go-to for South Florida's wealthy, and this deal cemented his reputation. Friends and colleagues crowded around the high-top table at Rusty Anchor, a lively waterfront spot, cheering his success. His wife, Isabel, sat across from him, her martini glass sweating in the humid night air. She hadn't said a word in 10 minutes. Jason leaned forward, animated, describing the mansion's planned features: a rooftop helipad, a saltwater aquarium spanning 2 floors, a gym with biometric scanners. The client wants a sauna that syncs with his smartwatch to adjust temperature, he said, grinning. The table erupted in gasps and questions. Everyone except Isabel. She swirled her drink, her lips pursed, her eyes fixed on her phone. Jason caught the look, disinterest, sharp and deliberate. He pushed on, ignoring the knot forming in his gut. And get this, the pool deck will have. God, Jason, you sound like a boring carpenter. Isabel cut in, her voice slicing through the chatter. The table froze. Nobody cares about your little construction stories. Her laugh was brittle, meant to sting, and it did. All eyes darted to Jason. His project manager, Tony, coughed awkwardly. Their neighbor, Lisa, stared at her wine. The air thickened with silence. Jason's jaw tightened, but he forced a smile. Guess I got carried away, he said, his tone light, but his chest burning. Isabel's eyes flicked back to her phone, as if she hadn't just humiliated him in front of their friends. Calm down, honey, she added, her voice softening too late. I love you, okay? Just work's been rough. She reached for his hand, but the gesture felt hollow, like a transaction. The drive home to their Coconut Grove house was quiet, the hum of Jason's truck the only sound. Isabel scrolled through her phone, oblivious to the tension. Jason gripped the wheel, replaying her words. Boring carpenter. He'd spent a decade building her dream life, funding her design agency when banks turned her down, referring A-list clients to her, designing their home with his own hands. And now this. Her contempt wasn't new, he realized. It had been simmering for months, hidden in her sighs, her late nights, her dismissive glances. At home, Isabel vanished into their bedroom without a word. Jason poured a whiskey and sat at the kitchen counter, the same one he'd installed with Italian marble to match her aesthetic. His mind churned. Last month, she'd brushed off his surprise weekend trip to the Bahamas, claiming a client dinner. 2 months ago, at her agency's gala, she'd credited her success to vision and hustle, never mentioning the $80,000 he'd loaned her to expand her studio. He'd chalked it up to her ambition, her need to prove herself. But tonight's jab wasn't ambition. It was disrespect. His phone buzzed. A text from Tony. You okay, boss? Isabel was brutal tonight. Jason stared at the screen. If his own employees saw it, how had he missed the signs? He set the glass down, resolve hardening. Tomorrow, he'd start watching Isabel closely. Something told him her outburst wasn't a one-off. It was a crack in the facade she'd been hiding behind. The next morning, Isabel was already in the kitchen, sipping a green smoothie, flipping through a design magazine. Morning, she said, barely glancing up. Jason poured coffee, his tone measured. We need to talk about last night. She sighed, not looking up. Jason, it was a bar. I had a few drinks. Don't make it a thing. Her casual dismissal lit a spark of anger. Calling me a boring carpenter in front of our friends isn't a thing, he pressed. It's you showing what you really think of me. Isabel set her magazine down, her eyes narrowing. You're being dramatic. It was a joke. Get over it. She stood, grabbing her purse. I've got a client meeting. Jason stepped closer, his voice steady. When's the last time you treated me like a partner, Isabel? Or am I just a guy who pays for your lifestyle? Her face flushed, but she didn't answer. Instead, she walked out, the door clicking shut behind her. Jason didn't follow. He waited until her BMW pulled out of the driveway, then headed to her home office. He never snooped before, but instinct screamed she was hiding something. Her laptop sat on the desk, still logged in. A few clicks revealed a new email account, one she hadn't mentioned. His pulse quickened as he opened it. Dozens of messages to a Raul Mendez filled the inbox. The early ones discussed a condo project, but the tone shifted fast. Missed you last night. Jay's working late again. Another. Can't stop thinking about you. Let's meet at the Seta tomorrow. The latest, sent last night. He's clueless. Drinks tomorrow? Jason's hands shook. Raul Mendez. The name rang a bell. A flashy real estate developer with a trail of failed projects and lawsuits. Isabel was cheating, and she wasn't even subtle. He printed the emails, his mind racing. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a calculated move. The Seta meeting was tonight, and she'd used their joint credit card for the reservation. His money, funding her affair. He called Tony. I need a favor, Jason said, closing the office door. Can you make it look like I'm out of town next week? Post some fishing trip photos on social media. I'm staying in Miami. Tony didn't hesitate. Whatever you need, boss. What's going on? Jason exhaled. Isabel's cheating. I am gathering proof. Tony's voice hardened. She's been walking all over you for months. I'm in. Jason hung up and dialed a private investigator he'd worked with on a client's property dispute. I need surveillance on my wife. Starting tonight. Follow her to the Seta. The PI didn't flinch. Got it. I'll send updates by morning. Jason leaned back, the emails stacked neatly beside him. Isabel thought she was playing him, sneaking around while he built their empire. She was about to learn that a man who renovates mansions knows how to dismantle lies, piece by piece. Jason Evans sat in a nondescript rental car across from the Seta Hotel, its glass facade glinting under Miami's neon glow. His private investigator, Carla, had texted an hour ago. Isabel's inside with Raul Mendez. Private dining room, reserved under her name. Jason's jaw clenched as he checked the timestamp. 8:47 p.m. Isabel had told him she was meeting a new client and wouldn't be home until late. The lies stung, but the credit card charge for the $600 dinner reservation, pulled from their joint account, burned deeper. Carla's next message arrived with photos. Isabel and Raul sat close at a candlelit table, her hand on his arm, his smirk unmistakable. Another image showed them leaving the dining room, Raul's hand guiding her toward the hotel elevators. Jason's stomach churned, but he stayed focused. Keep tracking them, he texted Carla. I need everything, times, places, receipts. Her reply was instant. On it. They're headed to a suite. I'll get footage. Jason drove to a nearby coffee shop to wait, his laptop open to their business accounts. He'd spent the morning digging deeper into Isabel's financial trail. She'd been siphoning funds, $2,000 here, $5,000 there, for client expenses that didn't exist. One charge stood out, a $12,000 payment to a jeweler in Coral Gables, dated 2 days ago. Jason called the store, posing as a confused husband confirming a gift. The clerk's response was a gut punch. Yes, sir, your wife bought a men's Rolex. Said it was for someone special. Not for Jason. He hadn't gotten a gift from her in years. His phone buzzed with a call from Tony, his project manager. Posted the first fishing trip pics on Instagram, Tony said. Me holding a snapper off Key Largo. Tag you in it. Everyone will think you're out of town. Jason nodded, though Tony couldn't see. Good. Keep it up. Isabel's at the Seta with him now. Tony cursed under his breath. She's got some nerve. What's her next move? Jason's voice was steel. I'm building a case. She's not just cheating. She's stealing from me to fund it. Carla's report came in at midnight. Photos showed Isabel and Raul on a private balcony. Her laughter caught mid-frame as she leaned into him. A time-stamped receipt confirmed the suite was booked with Jason's business card. The final image was damning. Isabel slipping a watch onto Raul's wrist, the Rolex's face catching the light. Jason saved every file to a secure drive, his anger sharpening into resolve. Isabel thought he was clueless, fishing in the Keys while she played house with her lover. She was wrong. The next morning, Jason met his attorney, Elena Cruz, at her downtown office. Elena, a sharp litigator who'd handled his company's contracts, listened as he laid out the evidence. Emails, photos, bank statements. She's using our business funds to bankroll this affair, he said, sliding the Rolex receipt across her desk. Elena scanned it, her eyes narrowing. This is financial fraud, Jason. Florida courts don't take kindly to spouses wasting marital assets on lovers. We can protect your company and the house. It was yours before the marriage. What about the rest? Jason asked. Elena tapped her pen. With this evidence, you'll likely keep most of the community property. She could owe restitution for what she's stolen. But we need more to make it airtight. Keep the PI on her. Jason nodded. She's planning a weekend in Key West with him. Thinks I'm still fishing. I'll get you everything you need. Back at home, Isabel was all smiles, oblivious to his suspicions. How's the fishing trip going? She asked over breakfast, stirring her coffee. Jason played along, his tone casual. Great. Caught a tarpon yesterday. Thinking of staying a few extra days. Her eyes lit up, too eager. That's perfect. I mean, you deserve the break. Her relief was palpable, a confirmation of her plans. Jason smiled tightly. Yeah, we both need some space. He spent the day coordinating with Carla. Isabel's calendar, synced to their shared cloud, showed a team retreat in Key West for the weekend. A quick check of their business account revealed a $1,200 deposit for a boutique hotel booked under her name. Jason texted Carla, follow her to Key West. Document every move. He also called an old contact, Marco, a contractor who'd worked with Raul Mendez on a failed condo project. Raul's a snake, Marco said. Owes me $30,000 from a job he tanked. Word is he's dodging creditors and cozying up to rich women to stay afloat. Jason's grip tightened on the phone. Thanks, Marco. That's all I needed to hear. By Friday, Jason's plan was in motion. He packed a duffel bag, kissed Isabel goodbye, and drove off as if heading to the airport. Instead, he checked into a budget motel across town, where Carla sent real-time updates. At 6 p.m., she texted, Isabel and Raul just boarded a charter to Key West. Hotels confirmed. I'm on their tail. Photos followed. The two of them at the airport, Raul carrying a designer bag Jason recognized from their closet, paid for with his money. Jason's next call was to his bank. I need to freeze all joint accounts and business cards, he told the manager. My wife's making unauthorized charges. The manager confirmed the freeze would take effect by midnight, leaving Isabel stranded with no access to funds. Jason leaned back in the motel chair, staring at the grainy photo of Isabel laughing with Raul. She'd spent months treating him like a fool, using his success to fund her betrayal. But Jason wasn't the type to break. He built things, homes, reputations, plans, and now he was building her downfall, one careful step at a time. Jason Evans sat in his motel room, the glow of his laptop illuminating a stack of printed emails and receipts. His private investigator, Carla, had just sent a new batch of evidence from Key West, where Isabel believed he was still fishing. The photos showed her and Raul Mendez checking into a boutique hotel, their arms linked, her smile wide as she handed over the business credit card Jason had frozen last night. He smirked, imagining her confusion when the card declined. His phone buzzed with Carla's text. They're at the hotel bar now. Card got rejected. She's flustered, arguing with the bartender. Jason replied, stay on them. Get video. He opened the business account portal. The freeze had kicked in at midnight, locking Isabel out of their joint funds and company cards. A quick scan showed her latest attempt, a $900 charge for a private sunset sale, declined at 8:03 p.m. Jason leaned back, his pulse steady. Isabel's weekend getaway with her lover was unraveling, and he was orchestrating every moment from 200 miles away. Carla's next update came at 10:15 p.m. A video clip showed Isabel at the hotel front desk, her voice sharp as she demanded the manager retry the card. Raul stood beside her, scrolling his phone, unbothered. The clip ended with Isabel pulling cash from her purse, likely her personal stash, not enough to cover their lavish plans. Jason saved the file, adding it to his growing dossier. Every misstep she made tightened the noose around her affair. The next morning, Jason called his attorney, Elena Cruz. I've got more, he said, emailing the latest photos and video. She's in Key West, burning through cash now that the cards are locked. Elena's voice was crisp. This strengthens our case. She's misusing business funds for personal gain. Courts will eat that up. Keep the PI on her until she's back in Miami. Jason agreed, then dialed Marco, his contractor contact, for more dirt on Raul. He's in deeper than I thought, Marco said. Just heard he's being audited for tax evasion. His last project collapsed because he was skimming investor funds. Jason's mind raced. Raul wasn't just a sleaze, he was a liability, and Isabel was tied to him. By noon, Carla sent photos of Isabel and Raul at a beachside cafe, their body language tense. Isabel was on her phone, likely scrambling to access funds. A receipt showed she'd paid $200 for brunch with a debit card linked to her personal account. Not their business. Jason noted the shift. She was running out of options. He texted Carla. Follow them to any shops or ATMs. I need proof she's draining her own money. Carla's reply was swift. Got it. They're heading to Duval Street now. Jason drove to a storage unit he'd rented that morning, where he stashed copies of his evidence in a locked safe. He wasn't taking chances. Isabel might snoop if she suspected anything. His phone pinged with a new alert. Isabel had tried to withdraw $5,000 from an ATM, but her personal account capped her at $500. Carla's photos captured her frustration, Raul gesturing angrily beside her. Jason's lips twitched. Her lover's charm was fading fast without Jason's money to fuel it. That afternoon, he met Tony at a diner to plan the next phase. Social media's selling the fishing trip, Tony said, showing Jason a post of himself grilling fish on a Key Largo beach, caption chillin' with the boss. Nobody suspects you're here. Jason nodded. Good. I need Isabel to think she's got free reign until I confront her. Tony leaned forward. When's that happening? Jason's eyes hardened. Tomorrow night, when she's back. I'm ending this. Carla's evening report was gold. Isabel and Raul had checked out of the hotel early, unable to cover the $2,500 bill for their two-night stay. Photos showed them arguing in the parking lot, Raul storming off as Isabel hailed a cab alone. A final text from Carla confirmed Isabel's flight back to Miami that night, booked with her dwindling personal funds. Raul stayed behind, likely chasing another mark. Jason saved every image, every receipt, his case now ironclad. Sunday morning, Jason reviewed his plan with Elena over the phone. I'm confronting her tonight, he said. I want the divorce papers ready by Monday. Elena was all business. With this evidence, adultery, financial fraud, misuse of business assets, you're looking at a clean split. She'll get nothing from your premarital property, and the courts will likely make her repay what she stole. Jason exhaled, a weight lifting. What about the business? Elena's voice was firm. It's safe. You founded it before the marriage. She has no claim. Back at the motel, Jason prepared for the showdown. He printed the latest photos. Isabel slipping the Rolex onto Raul's wrist, their heated argument in Key West, the declined hotel bill. He organized bank statements showing her unauthorized charges, $15,000 in total, from dinners to hotel rooms. His final call was to Isabel's sister, Claire, who'd always been kind to him. Just a heads up, he said casually. Isabel's been in Key West for a work trip. Might want to check in with her. Claire sounded confused. Work trip? She told me she was staying home to finish a project. Jason's smile was grim. Another lie exposed. As the sun set, Jason drove home, his evidence tucked in a folder. Isabel's BMW was already in the driveway. She was back, probably thinking she'd pulled off her secret weekend. Jason parked, his heart steady but his resolve like steel. She'd spent months betraying him, mocking him, stealing from him. Tonight, she'd face the man she'd underestimated, a man who built empires and could just as easily tear hers down. Jason Evans stepped into his Coconut Grove home, the folder of evidence heavy in his hand. The house was quiet except for the faint clink of dishes from the kitchen. Isabel was at the sink, rinsing a wine glass, her phone propped nearby, playing a podcast. She glanced up, startled, as Jason entered. You're back early, she said, her voice too bright. How was the fishing? Jason set the folder on the counter, his gaze steady. Enlightening. We need to talk. Isabel dried her hands, her smile faltering. About what? Jason opened the folder, spreading photos across the counter. Her with Raul Mendez at the Seta, on a Key West balcony, arguing in a parking lot. Bank statements followed, highlighting her unauthorized charges, $15,000 in total, including the $12,000 Rolex. Her eyes widened, her breath catching. Jason, she started, but he cut her off. Don't. I know about Raul. I know you've been stealing from our business to fund your affair. Her face crumpled, but she didn't deny it. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she stammered, stepping back. Raul and I, it just happened. Jason's voice was cold, precise. It just happened for months. You lied about client meetings, used my money for hotel rooms, bought him jewelry. You called me a boring carpenter in front of our friends while planning your getaway. Isabel's hands shook. I was stressed, okay? You're always working, and Raul, he made me feel alive. Alive enough to steal $15,000? Jason shot back, sliding the Rolex receipt toward her. You charged that to our business. My business. Isabel's eyes darted to the receipt, then away. I'll pay it back, she whispered. Jason shook his head. Too late. I froze the accounts. Your Key West trip fell apart because you had no money left. Raul ditched you when the hotel bill came due, didn't he? Her silence was answer enough. Jason pulled out the final photo, Isabel slipping the Rolex onto Raul's wrist. This ends tonight, he said. My attorney's filing for divorce tomorrow. You've got until morning to pack and leave. Isabel's voice broke. You can't just kick me out. This is my home, too. Jason's tone didn't waver. This house was mine before we married. Florida law says it stays mine. Your fraud and affair? They kill any claim you had to our assets. Isabel sank onto a stool, tears streaming. Can we fix this? Counseling? Anything? Jason didn't flinch. You made your choice when you lied to my face and spent my money on him. Get out by dawn, or I'll have the sheriff escort you. He turned, leaving her sobbing, and headed to his office. He locked the door, sent the final evidence to Elena Cruz, and texted Tony. Confrontation done. She's leaving tomorrow. Tony's reply was instant. Proud of you, boss. She's getting what she deserves. By morning, Isabel was gone, her BMW loaded with suitcases. Jason checked the security cameras. He'd installed them weeks ago, and saw her leave at 5:47 a.m. A note on the counter read, I'm sorry. I'll make this right. He crumpled it, tossing in the trash. His phone rang. Elena. Papers are filed, she said. With your evidence, she'll be lucky to get 20% of the community property. The business is untouchable, and she'll owe restitution for the fraud. Jason exhaled. What's next? Elena's voice was confident. Court dates in 3 weeks. Stay focused. You've got this. Jason spent the day at his company's headquarters, reviewing plans for the NBA Stars mansion. Tony clapped him on the shoulder. You look lighter, boss. Jason nodded. Feels like I've been carrying her lies for years. That afternoon, he called Claire, Isabel's sister, to give her a heads up. She's been lying to everyone, he said, explaining the affair and fraud without venom. Claire sighed. I had no idea. She told me she was happy with you. I'm so sorry, Jason. He thanked her and hung up, feeling a flicker of closure. Carla, the PI, sent a final report. Raul had returned to Miami, spotted meeting another woman at a downtown club. His financial troubles were mounting. Creditors had seized his car, and a lawsuit was pending for unpaid investor funds. Isabel, meanwhile, had checked into a budget motel near the airport, her personal account nearly drained. Jason didn't gloat. Her downfall was her own doing, and he'd ensured it was documented. That evening, he met Marco, the contractor who'd warned him about Raul, a quiet bar. Heard Raul's empire is crumbling, Marco said, sipping a beer. He's dodging process servers now. Jason raised his glass. Good. Isabel picked the wrong guy to bet on. Marco Vrinth. You played this smart, man. Most guys would have lost it. Jason shrugged. I build things. I don't break them, but I know how to protect what's mine. Back home, Jason walked through the house, now free of Isabel's presence. He opened his laptop, pulling up the mansion project plans. The work grounded him, a reminder of what he'd built without her. His phone buzzed, a text from Amelia, an architect he'd met on a recent job. Congrats on the big contract. Drinks this week to celebrate? Jason smiled, typing back, Thursday works. Looking forward to it. For the first time in months, he felt unburdened, ready to move forward. Jason Evans stood in the Miami-Dade courthouse, his attorney Elena Cruz at his side, as the judge reviewed the divorce filings. 3 weeks had passed since he confronted Isabel with evidence of her affair and financial fraud. The courtroom was stark, filled only with the hum of air conditioning and the rustle of papers. Elena handed the judge a thick folder. Photos, bank statements, emails documenting Isabel's betrayal with Raul Mendez. Jason's face was calm, but his heart pounded with anticipation. The judge's voice was steady. Based on the evidence of adultery and misappropriation of marital assets, the court awards Mr. Evans full ownership of his premarital property, including the Coconut Grove residence and Evans Elite Builds. Isabel, seated across the room with her lawyer, stared at the floor. MS. Evans is ordered to pay restitution of $15,000 for unauthorized business expenditures and will receive 20% of the community property. The gavel fell, finalizing her defeat. Isabel's attorney tried to argue, citing her contributions to Jason's success, but the judge cut him off. Her actions constitute deliberate waste of marital funds. The ruling stands. Jason exhaled, the weight of months lifting. Elena whispered, "You did it. The business is safe, and she's done." He nodded, his focus already shifting to the future. Outside, Isabel approached, her eyes red but defiant. "You didn't have to destroy me, Jason." He met her gaze. "You destroyed yourself. I just made sure the truth came out." She opened her mouth, then closed it, turning away as her lawyer ushered her to a waiting car. Jason watched her go, feeling no anger, only clarity. She'd underestimated him, and now she'd face the consequences. Within weeks, Isabel's design agency collapsed. Word of her affair and fraud spread through Miami's elite circles, and clients dropped her overnight. A contact at a local design firm told Jason she'd taken a job selling furniture at a strip mall, her days of pitching to wealthy homeowners over. Raul Mendez fared worse. His latest real estate venture imploded under the weight of lawsuits, and a tip from Jason to a creditor led to Raul's assets being seized. Last Jason heard, Raul was crashing on a friend's couch, his charm useless without money to back it. Jason threw himself into work, overseeing the NBA star's mansion renovation. The project was a masterpiece, a cantilevered glass staircase, a rooftop infinity pool, a home theater with acoustic panels he designed himself. Tony, his project manager, noticed the change. "You're killing it, boss. Haven't seen you this focused in years." Jason grinned. Feels good to build something without carrying dead weight. One evening, he met Emilia, the architect, for drinks at a South Beach lounge. She was sharp, driven, and laughed at his stories about wrangling picky clients. "You're not just a contractor," she said, clinking her glass against his. "You're an artist." Her respect, untainted by ulterior motives, was a stark contrast to Isabel's disdain. They made plans for a weekend hike in the Everglades, a step toward something new. Isabel tried to reach out twice, leaving voicemails begging for a chance to explain. Jason deleted them without listening, forwarding her number to Elena. Claire, Isabel's sister, called to apologize. "She's humiliated," Claire said. "Mom and Dad cut her off when they heard about the affair. I hate what she did to you." Jason thanked her, his voice even. "I'm moving on. She should too." The call ended, and he felt a final thread of their past sever. His company landed another contract, a $7 million condo tower redesign, cementing his status in Miami's luxury market. At the groundbreaking ceremony, clients toasted his vision, unaware of the personal victory behind his success. Jason scanned the crowd, spotting Emilia chatting with a developer, her confidence magnetic. He realized he wasn't just rebuilding his business. He was rebuilding his life, free from betrayal. One morning, Elena sent a final update. Isabel had dropped her appeal of the divorce settlement, accepting the court's terms. She'd moved into a small apartment in Hialeah, driving a used sedan. Her attempt to start a new design firm had failed, her reputation in tatters. Jason read the email, then closed it. Her downfall wasn't his triumph. It was just the result of her choices. That night, Jason sat on his patio, the Miami skyline glittering in the distance. He opened his laptop, reviewing plans for the condo project. A text from Emilia popped up. "Ready for that hike tomorrow?" He typed back, "Can't wait." As he set the phone down, a quiet certainty settled in. Isabel's betrayal had exposed her true character, but it had also shown Jason his own strength. He'd built an empire with his hands, and now he'd build a future without her, one where respect, not lies, defined his worth.